That down. Let's move on to this, shall we? In what is undoubtedly the most anticipated movie of the year, not for everyone, but I mean overall in general, what is easily the most anticipated movie of the year, Deadpool and Wolverine is coming. And we've been talking a lot about it. And in terms of, it often comes up, how much do you think it can make? And when people ask how much money do you think it can make, what you're really asking is, how many people will be excited to see this? How many people are going to want to make plans, buy tickets, run out, and be a part of Deadpool and Wolverine when it comes? I've said for a long time that I absolutely believe Deadpool and Wolverine will be a $1 billion film. So long as it's good. If the movie is junk, it'll still make a lot of money, but it won't make $1 billion. But if the movie is good, I think this is going to be a $1 billion film. And a lot of people have looked at me and guffawed at that notion. John, R-rated films don't make $1 billion.
Except for Joker.
Well, except for Joker, but that's the exception, right? They're not wrong. Only one R-rated film has ever made $1 billion, and that was Joker. But you had two Wolverine films, or Deadpool films, that both made north of $700 million. Now, on top of that, you've got the existing popularity of the character, and it's been forever since we had him. And Ryan Reynolds is arguably bigger today than he was when he made the Deadpool films. And now he's in the MCU. And now Hugh Jackman is coming out of retirement to play Wolverine. And what I would tell people is, if you don't think all of those things combined can equal another $250 million at the box office, okay. But I think it will. And then we've been talking about how much will it make opening weekend. Well, oh my God. Deadline is now reporting a number that even I did not think. I want to put something in perspective for you before we read this. The biggest opening weekend in history for an R-rated film. Let me just make sure, don't go to my screen or anything here, Jonathan. I want to make sure I got this right.
All right.
The biggest opening weekend for an R-rated film in history is the number 42 biggest opening weekend of all time, and that's the first Deadpool. And it made $132 million on its opening weekend. Okay? I'm just setting the stage here. The number 42 biggest opening weekend ever, the biggest opening weekend for an R-rated film ever, and it made $132 million on its opening weekend. All right? That's our context. Let's go see what Deadline had to say. Deadline wrote this morning, exclusive. Marvel/Disney, Deadpool and Wolverine hit its 6-week tracking, we're 6 weeks out, this morning, and man, does it look amazing. The Quorum, which actually monitors picks 6 weeks ahead, is reporting a projection of $200 to $239 million opening weekend, which the service actually believes is a conservative estimate.
Wow.
Is a conservative estimate. Let's give an asterisk. There has never been an R-rated film before that has opened at 200 million. And by the Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman threequel busting that sphere, it will be an anomaly. The current record for an R-rated opening film, domestic box office, is owned by the original Deadpool, which posted 132.4 million back in February 2016. So even if Deadpool and Wolverine comes out at $150 million opening weekend, keep in mind that it's not clear if the younger Disney Marvel studio parents/fans realize this is R-rated, it will still represent the biggest opening for both Ryan Reynolds, the biggest opening he'll ever have, and the biggest opening for a Hugh Jackman film that he's ever had. At that level, it will also be the highest opening of the summer, besting even this weekend's anticipated $100 million start for Disney Pixar's Inside Out. The biggest R-rated opening ever is number 42 on the list at 132. And they're saying conservatively that this movie's making $200 to $240 million. I want to put this in more context. Let's go over and look at this. This is the biggest weekends of all time. Avengers Endgame, number one at 357. I'm not sure that record's ever going to be beat. Spider-Man No Way Home at 260. Avengers Infinity War at 257. Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens at 247. At number 5, Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi at $220 million opening. All right. If this movie, Deadpool and Wolverine, an R-rated film that has never been above number 42 on the opening weekend chart, if it can open even midway in the projections and hit 221 million, which they are saying is a conservative estimate at this point, Deadpool and Wolverine will leapfrog over Star Wars Episode 8 and become the number 5 biggest opening film in the history of cinema. From number 42 to number in the top 5, joining the top 5 of the biggest films in history. Tell me again that people are not still hungry. Tell me more about this comic book movie fatigue. Please, I'll wait. Tell me more about it. I'd love to hear more. People do not have comic book movie fatigue. They have mediocre movie fatigue. And when you got a movie coming out that has things that excite them, that looks like it could, like maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed, we don't know, we're hoping, will be a return to form for the genre, all that kind of stuff, people will get stoked and excited. And I love what Deadpool wrote in there, saying, like, look, let's say it misses its projections. Let's say it misses its projections by like a full 25% and makes like 150 million opening. Okay, let's say that. It misses its projections entirely, gets a $150 million opening. Guess what? That still puts it in the top 30 openings of all time and still shatters the existing R-rated opening box office record. But I believe they are not overshooting their estimates. I believe this movie will make over $200 million in its opening weekend. I believe they're right that the estimates could be conservative. 250 may not be off the table. And by the way, if it does get 250, it leapfrogs another Star Wars film and gets the number 4 spot for an all-time opening weekend. And not for nothing, if you go down this list, all top 10 movies that made $191 million or more on its opening weekend, guess what all those films have in common? They all joined the $1 billion club.
Yeah,
every single one. Every single movie in the top 10 has joined the $1 billion club. And actually, if you keep going down, it's not until number 11, Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness with $187 million, that barely missed out on the $1 billion club.
It was close.
Every film in the top 10 opening weekends has joined the $1 billion club. So, if Deadpool and Wolverine sucks, I believe it will not make $1 billion. But does anybody now still believe that even if the movie's really good, that this movie won't be $1 billion film? I'm not saying 1.5. I'm not saying 2 billion. But I mean, these numbers are insane. And again, sometimes people will ask me, I understand. They'll say, John, why is it you care so much about the money in the movies? It's because of what box office represents. Box office doesn't represent dollars. What it represents is people. It represents what we as an audience want or don't want to see. It represents about what's attracting us to projects and to movies. What is motivating, what types of projects are motivating us to get out of our damn fat ass couches, get out the door and get our fat asses out to the movie theaters to see things. What things are doing that? Deadpool and Wolverine is doing it, and it's doing it in spades. Now, I don't know how big this thing will end up being. Maybe it misses that 200 million. I don't think it will. Hey guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, The Perfect Jean. Guys, are you tired of the rough and rigid jeans crushing your boys? Well, today's sponsor, The Perfect Jean, finally solved all of your denim difficulties. They make great looking, perfect fitting jeans that are as comfortable as sweatpants. The secret? A special denim fabric that is super soft and has the perfect amount of stretch so you can squat, do yoga, or just sit around all day without ever having to take them off. I'm going to admit I was a little bit skeptical because to me, jeans have always been jeans. They're practical, but not always the most comfortable. But I'm telling you guys, it's not an exaggeration. Once I put on these jeans, the Perfect Jean redefined what jeans can be to me. They're the perfect fit, they stretch, they breathe, and again, they're just insanely comfortable. So guys, it's finally time to stop crushing your balls in uncomfortable jeans by going to theperfectjean.nyc/Campea15. Our listeners get 15% off your first order plus free shipping, free returns and free exchanges when you use code Campea15 Campea15 at checkout. Again, that's 15% off for new customers at theperfectgene.nyc/Campea15 and use the code Campea15. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support the John Campea Show and tell them we sent you. Chris, you hear this report. What's like the biggest thing that's standing out to you about it when you hear about this?
I think that everyone's being too conservative. I think you are. I think they are.
I am.
Yes, I do. I think, you know that scene in Parks and Rec where Ron says, I don't think you heard me. I want all the bacon eggs.
Bacon eggs you have.
That's how Deadpool is with money.
It's going to make all the money.
It's going to make all the money. It's going to make every bit of money. Y'all are going to get that popcorn bucket. Y'all are going to see this movie multiple times. I think this is going to blow the doors off the box office. Do I think it's going to do like Endgame numbers and things like that? No. But I think this is going
I don't
to
know
do
that
great.
that's ever going to be beat.
Yeah. That was a perfect storm, and it's going to take, I think, years to have something else like that happen again. I could be wrong, but that's how I feel about it. I think this is going to open really strong. I think it's going to have great legs. And again, this goes to show that Disney focusing, potentially, if this does well, potentially focusing on quality over quantity, not inundating us with superhero properties every single month, leaves us hungry for more. We want to go see this stuff. We don't have fatigue. We want to go jump there and see a good story. And the original Deadpool 2, it was a superhero movie disguised. It was a rom-com at its heart.
Yeah. Yeah, it really was.
And these are movies that appeal, again, another movie that appeals to a wide audience of all kinds of people. My friends who are not into comic books, who will begrudgingly see a comic book movie with me and be like, what is happening? Tell me the footnotes. Just give me the details. They love Deadpool. They absolutely love Deadpool. And they loved that Logan movie. So I think so many people are going to run to theaters to see this. And it just looks fun.
Now, still, the big elephant in the room, though, is still that R rating, right? Which, again, does not keep kids from seeing it. Because I 100% believe there are going to be parents who make questionable parental choices like I would if I had a kid right now, and will absolutely bring their kids to go to see Deadpool Wolverine. Maybe not their 6-year-old, granted, but I think there's going to be a lot, but still, there's a reason why up until this point, the highest that an R-rated movie has ever been on the opening weekend chart is number 42. That just so happened to also be a Deadpool movie. So I get it. That is still the elephant in the room, how much that will play into it. And you know what? I like what the writer on Deadline said about this. Is like, it's a little unclear right now if some of the people that are saying they're going to go to see this movie may not yet understand that it's an R-rated film. Although if you watch the trailers, I don't know how you don't understand this is an R-rated film. But still,
I don't know how you buy a ticket and not realize it's an R-rated film.
Again, you guys, the world has proved that people don't read, that people don't know things. You can say the F word right in their face, and they're like, it's probably PG-13.
Oh, there's going to be people like, oh, I thought this was a comic book movie, and I was offended, and I had to leave, and I had to get my money back. It's
well,
like,
listen,
why didn't
if any of them
you
at
look at
least
what it was
see
rated?
in their theaters that little turn your phone off segment that they're playing in theaters right now with Deadpool and Wolverine, I mean, that should tell them it's going to be an R-rated film.
Yeah.
But it's still,
It won't.
I mean, it is crazy how ludicrously big. Now, Ray,
Yeah.
I think you guessed higher than I did when we
Yeah,
talked about what what did you guess it would be?
You keep going to that 150, but
I kept going to 150. Yeah. Which would, again, would be the biggest R-rated opening movie in history. But you went over me.
I just kept saying 172 for some reason. I have no idea. Now I'm rethinking it. Maybe it'll be higher. I mean, there's a lot of people. I know we laughed at it at the time. I mean, when it was brought up, there's some people in our chat that were saying 200 million opening.
No, there were. And I thought they were crazy.
And now they're looking like geniuses, maybe.
Well, I didn't think 200 was crazy, but like 220, 230, 240. Some people in our live chat over the shows have said, I think it's going to make 250. And I laughed. Ha ha. Thy knave fool. And yet, who's the fool now? Because it looks like maybe they were right.
Well, another thing I said was it's going to make more than Multiverse of Madness opening, which was
180 something?
Yep.
Yeah, 187, I think Multiverse of Madness made.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it looks like it's going to beat that easily now.
I mean, look, there's a Deadpool vodka gin that's out right now, Deadpool edition.
I've got
Yeah.
3 bottles.
That beautifully smoked
I
bottle.
don't
Yeah.
I don't think I could watch Comedy Central, my office marathon every day without seeing a Deadpool Wolverine anything like in the commercials. it's ramping up. It's only going to get, the marketing's only going to get harder.
Oh, they're just getting started.
Yeah.
So,
I really would love to see the budget for their marketing, man. Woo.
if there's only one movie coming out from Marvel this year,
Yeah, there
they
is.
picked
This
a
is
good
it.
movie.
And this
They
is
picked a
it.
good movie.
And I'm telling you, I think people are going to finally start to wake up that, oh, this movie really is going to be big. Oh, make no mistake. And here's the thing. Whatever it makes opening weekend, whether it's 200, 220, hell, 250, it's nothing compared to how much they're going to make selling that damn popcorn bucket.
Oh, yeah.
And I still believe we're going to get a second popcorn bucket. Because remember, we had
Wolverine.
we had a Wolverine popcorn bucket designed by Deadpool. I completely believe we're going to get a Deadpool popcorn bucket designed by Wolverine. And I don't know that for a fact. I'm just guessing, but I think, well, and oh my God, they are going to make, everybody's putting in the Wolverine popcorn bucket emoji in the live chat now. That is going to make so much. Those buckets are going to sell out so fast. Buy them as quick as you can. It's going to be great. The movie, I cannot wait for this damn thing. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? The 6-week tracking right now is saying conservatively $200 to $240 million opening weekend, which in the midpoint would be enough to put it into the top 5 biggest opening films in history and absolutely annihilate the existing record for biggest opening for an R-rated film ever. Every movie in the top 10 has gone on to make at least $1 billion at the box office. How are you feeling about this? Do you think maybe they're overestimating? Do you think, yeah, they're being too conservative, it's going to be more? Are you rethinking your position about whether this can be a $1 billion film or not? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.